Hi there, my name is Drew. Today we'll be learning how to use Google Maps. First step will be to open your browser. You can use any browser, just about. Today we'll be using Google Chrome. Of course, as I said, it's user preference. You could also use Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox. Next step will be to type the address in the address bar, and we'll want to go to google.com/maps. Once it comes up, you'll see a search bar here in the top left, and really, you can use this for a plethora of things, one of which is to type in a direct address if you have it on hand. Another might be to search for a company name. Another could be to find locations of interest near you. So say in this one instance you want to find food near me. You can just type that in. And what you'll get are search results here on the left. And you could go ahead and scroll through them. Of course, one thing to remember with Google is always be wary of ads. It's certainly one thing that a lot of people would fall for. Also, here on the right side, you'll see little push pins where you can select various locations, maybe based on proximity to where you are on the map. So we'll use Backstreet Girl. You see the push pin pop up when you select it. And on the left side, you'll see the details. There are various things you can do here. One of which directions, save for later. If you're signed in, you can always add it to your favorites. You can look here to go to the street view. You'll also see reviews here, and on the average out of the total number of reviews, you'll have their menu accessible. Here's a price, and then this is the type of restaurant, bar and grill. And then of course you can read a few of the reviews below. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a look at the street view. We'll see what else is around it. Now you can see down here there's a place to add photos, and then here's maybe photos that were actually added by the Google Streetcar, and you can click here to hide the imagery if you're not interested in any of those. And then if you click here in the middle, here's what we assume to be Backstreet Girl. You can click, drag your mouse to the right, and you'll be able to look to the left. And you can click, drag your mouse back to the left to look back to the right. Now it doesn't really look like there's all that much around. So say that's not necessarily where you want to go tonight. And what you want to do is use one of these two back arrows to get back to the map. You can use the one on the top left, or just back to map here in the bottom left. Either one of those will take you back to where you just were with your search results. Now, what you can do is you can use the push pins here, or of course you can click here on the left and say list all results again, and do both for you just as an example. So you can say list all results, you can scroll through, or of course you can just click another one that say, oh, let's see what Market Street Inn looks like. As you can see again, you'll have all the details coming up on the left, and what you want to do is try to center it in the middle so that you'll be able to use the zoom in and zoom out function, which is down here in the bottom right. Now once you get it centered, you can just click the zoom button. Of course, alternately, if you have a scrolling function in the middle of your mouse, you can scroll forward to scroll in, or roll it back to roll out, as an alternative to using these two zoom in, zoom out buttons here on the left. Now another thing you may want to do is use this little guy here. Might be tough to see, so I'll circle him for you. And what he does is he's basically just another way to use Google Street View. So if you click and hold on him and drop him, say, onto the street right in front of Market Street, there you go, you're automatically dropped into the street view. Now maybe you have to scroll around because he wasn't facing the exact right direction. So there's parking lot. And again, I'm just clicking and dragging to the left. And it looks like there's Market Street there, a little bit in the distance. If you wanted to, you can see how if you click on the street, there's an arrow here. And that will be the direction in the frame that you'll move up. So if you just click, you can just see that Google will go ahead and take you on down the street if you want to go for a walk. And we can clearly tell now that that is Market Street Inn. Now if you want to look around, there are quite a few sidewalks. Looks like there's somebody walking in. And perhaps maybe you want to go back and look at other areas of interest. Again, there's the arrow on the top left, or back to map in the bottom left. To go back to results, It looks like there are a couple of different things here. You've got sushi bar. We'll zoom in a little bit. There's another tavern, and of course Mojo's. Looks like all those are in walking distance, so perhaps that might be a good location for you to spend your night out. Now, of course, if there's some place that's maybe not so near you that you'd like, it might be more pertinent to get directions. So let's say you want to take a day trip to Washington, D.C. You could easily type Washington, D.C. into the search bar. It'll come up. You'll have all your details there on the left. Of course, there's other ads, and you'll have your directions here, which if you select, you'll see that Google leaves the top portion empty for you to enter your starting location. You could, again, use a specific address, use the name of a town and state. In this case, we'll just use the name of a town and state. Looks like I had maybe typed that incorrectly. So, and we'll try that search again. And then Google will automatically come up with directions, and the suggested mode of transportation here is a car. You can see there might be some traffic along the way, here illustrated by the red spots on the map. You could also go here to list all steps. And this would be maybe if you wanted to print out the directions, you could, or to preview your view. It's here on the left, of course, with your map on the right. Now to return to your results, what you can do is go back to full map view here. For the top right, we'll click on that. And of course, you can explore alternate modes of transportation. Say you want to take the bus. Google will come up with different suggestions for you of how you could get there and how long it will take. Which 5 hours versus 2.5, maybe that's not the best option. Google also says you can walk. Again, maybe not recommended, but I suppose it can be done. Now if you hover here, you'll also see there are options for cycling. Google probably wouldn't suggest taking an airplane for such a short distance, as suggested by it being grayed out. So maybe let's go to a different route, and we'll select somewhere a little bit farther away, say Denver. Now here with Denver, since we had walking selected, it stayed there, and of course that doesn't look like maybe the best mode of transportation given that it's going to take 580 hours. So what we'll do is select here in the top left Google's recommended mode of transportation, and if you click here, give it a second to think, and it'll come up with a recommendation for your flight. Now it also gives you your closest airport here, expected time, where the prices are starting from currently, and maybe you want to see flight results from this search. Of course, be wary, it's Google, so sponsored here means that is certainly an ad. So maybe that you want to choose a different search engine to try and find the cheapest fares. And of course here are the other alternatives here. If you wanted to go ahead and drive, you could click right here as far as other options depending on which way you'd want to take. So you want to take I-70, there's your recommended route for taking, for if you were going to drive all the way out west. And also, another feature that might be useful is if you come up to a map like this, okay, well, now I want to get back to where I am currently. Here in the right hand corner, just above the zoom in, zoom out, you'll see what essentially looks like a bullseye. And what this will do is it will geolocate almost to your exact location. It doesn't have the exact address yet. Of course, that could be for privacy concerns. If you haven't, you also would normally have to allow Google to be able to find you. It would come up and ask you. If you have other questions, there is a question mark here where you could alternatively select to take a tour. Of course, I think I've done a pretty decent overview for you so far, so if you have other questions, you can post comments in the section below, and I will gladly help you. Happy Googling!